So day 46 then. Numbers are getting bigger, aren't they? Day 46, I am in Bad Deutsch Altenberg, my first Austrian town that I've stayed in, and I am now heading out on my way hopefully to Vienna. Now Vienna is about 50 kilometers away or so I don't know, we're gonna have to see how that works out with the legs, with the body, with the pack back on, all of those things. But if I can reach Vienna tonight, then I've clawed back all the distance that I lost and we'll be back on track. Yeah, I mean, it seems mad that the capital cities are coming thick and fast, like from Bratislava to Vienna. These two are so close. It feels quite good actually sort of to bounce between them, and it'll be nice to have a night actually in a city tonight if I can make it. I've woken up this morning a little bit tired, if I'm really honest. Struggled to get up. I've left it around 7, so not my usual 6 a.m. start. Gave myself an extra hour's sleep, or at least an extra hour, just to take it slow, and trying to listen to my body and what's going on. What's going on here? This lady's just driving in front of me. Now she's going to reverse from me. Yeah, so my route today, I think I'm taking a slightly gnarly route into Vienna. I don't think I'm taking the scenic route. You can run the north side of the river, which I think is going to be a bit greener and a bit more kind of pleasant, but I'm on the south side here, and to go back to the bridge was adding an extra 3 miles. So yeah, I've decided it may be a risk. I may regret making this decision, but I've decided to crack on and go in on the south side, where it might be a bit more roady, it might be a bit more industrial, but we'll have to see. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things. I didn't really want to do the extra distance this morning if I can help it. So yeah, I'm feeling positive. Although the tiredness is there, I'm feeling positive. Body feels okay. I've got a few things, you know, there's a couple of new things that have emerged that are a little bit worrying. It's basically the old the plantars on both feet. Yes, they just started to complain a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but at the end I was aware of it. It was almost like I was going to get cramp in them. So I'm just hoping it was sort of fatigue rather than anything else more sinister. But I'm going to keep my eye on that very closely, because that would be a very bad thing. I'm just wondering whether or not these shoes have given out as well, whether the plates or whatever in the Speed 3s have given out after 500 miles or whatever it is I've done in them now, and that maybe I might need to get source a replacement pair of shoes. But yeah, I mean, Austria so far, there's hills here. That's the main difference. Last night I did a double whammy. One night in Austria, first night in Austria, I've double whammied with the schnitzel strudel combo. Straight in, no messing. Tick off those two. And yeah, met a lovely couple last night who are bike touring from Scotland and from Ireland, and they also bought my dinner when they heard what I was doing. So that was a really lovely gesture, and all those things again, it just puts a smile on your face when you wake up this morning. You remember that, and you know, you're sort of powered by that as well. So anyway, I don't know whether I'm going in the right direction now because I'm talking instead of looking at the map, but Vienna, hopefully we are coming for you today. So today's run I'm going to dedicate to a chap who has witnessed almost my entire kind of running history from really near the very start, and that is Ian Doyle. Now Doyley was there at the first marathon I ever ran, the Paris Marathon, which I think I did in 3:43, and I was, you know, I didn't really have a clue what I was doing back then, and basically Doyley planted a seed that probably is responsible for where I am now in many ways. After I'd finished the marathon, we all went to a bar in Paris. We were having a few beers, and at one point I was stood outside of this bar chatting with Doyley, beer in one hand. Actually had a cigarette in the other hand. It's a little celebratory cigarette. Seems nuts now. And was really chuffed. I'd done my marathon, that was it, tick, finished. No more running for me, great. Done that live thing, you know, that was it, running complete, well done. And then Doyley looked up at me and he said to me some words that I've never forgotten. And he said, you know you can go faster, don't you? And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean I could go faster? He's like, well, with a bit more training, if that's your first marathon, there's faster times there for you. And I hadn't really even given it any thought at all about sort of starting to chase times and go faster and do it again. But from that moment on, I think that planted a seed that, you know, has basically developed into this, where I sort of started to look at going faster in the marathon training a bit more seriously. And after that, did more marathons, and then eventually that whole thing, the whole chain just leads to here. And, you know, maybe it's not necessarily the case, but it does make me laugh that maybe if Doyley hadn't have stood out there and said those words, maybe I wouldn't be where I am today. But Doyley has also supported me in so many of my running adventures. He's been on some of them, plenty of them with the marathons, do city marathons. He's helped me an awful lot out here, particularly through the early stages. He had an intuition to spot when he knew kind of I needed someone to chat to. He gave me some pep talks when I was in Romania at some sort of difficult points. He's always got a wise head on his shoulders, good advice, and and just, you know, he's got a lot of belief. He's he's basically good for sort of motivation, and I don't know. Yeah, Doyley has just been, you know, he's basically one of those people that you can go to for sort of sage advice when you need it, in and around running and even beyond. And it's been a pleasure running with Doyley, and, you know, I wouldn't absolutely be where I am today without his advice, his help, his support, his encouragement, his wisdom, and all of those things. So today, Doyley, I'm basically heading to Vienna, and this one is for you. So day 46 is done. I'm in Vienna. We've just been and had some food on this lovely boat. And today was a good day really. Struggled from the start. I don't know why. I had another one of those days where everything just felt empty, couldn't get going. I think some days the mind is tired and the body is okay. Some days the body is tired, the mind is okay. Today was one of those days where both were tired at the same time, and those are the days where I really struggle. But 16 miles of kind of just trying to move forward, eke it out, but it was a real struggle. Then all of a sudden I sat down and had a coffee and like a massive plum strudel, is how I'm going to describe it, some kind of plum pastry. And then I got a message from my nephew's girlfriend Abigail that just said, she's from the north of England, and she just said, get up and get on with it, on Instagram. And actually I read it and I could hear her saying it, and I was like, yeah, she's right, stop prattling about and crack on. And that's what I did, and I ran really well after that. I ran into Vienna. It wasn't a nice run. The whole thing was really quite kind of trafficy and bitty and hard to navigate and industrial, and you know, I probably chose the wrong bank of the river to run on, to be honest. But fact is, we've made it here. Day 46 is done, another 30 miler is done, and I've basically clawed back the distance that I'd lost earlier, and my body feels intact. So that's a great springboard to go on for the rest of the journey. And tomorrow we will start to move across Austria a bit more, out of Vienna. And so I'm feeling good right now, feel positive, got a nice hotel to stay in. And yeah, we're going to, tomorrow we've got about 26 miles to do. So it's a shorter day. And then after that, I've got more shorter days coming up. So I'm hoping these are going to help rejuvenate me to go into another sort of section of it, which is going to be maybe a little bit more meaty. But 46 days, the average of sort of 46 marathons, and you know, a short little visit to Vienna, and all is good here. So off back to the hotel to get some rest, and I will see you guys all tomorrow.